Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about book series that I'm not planning on continuing. This is an ongoing thing that I've been doing, so I will be linking the past ones that I've done down below. But yeah, some of these I feel like I'm a little, but like it's okay. We said 2021. I am going to learn to just let go. I'm not enjoying these series. Some of them I've read quite a few books, and some of them I did like, but you know, it's not consistent. So I'm just learning to let go and move on and focus on all the books that I do want to read, because I mean, there are so many. Some of these are not super surprising, like Middle Game, which made it to my, was it my worst of 2020? Just really not for me. I tried to read the ebook and then I tried the audiobook twice before I was able to finish it. I hated it, the whole thing. Roger Dodger, the twins that are Link through, was it Quantum Entanglement? To be fair, the author does tend to have interesting premises, and there were some things that were interesting. The two twins basically have some type of like superpowers. Like one of them is around languages and the other one maths. And like, but I honestly, it's one of these books that I know I should have DNF'd. I should not have finished it because I hated every second of it. And when I realized that it was not a standalone, I was like, yeah, no, this is never going to happen. So to no one's surprise, I will never continue this series. I can't do it. Actually, speaking of Shauna Marie, maybe I should add her to my list of authors I'm not going to try again, which is not true actually, because I do have another book that I do really want to read. She wrote it under Mira Grant, but it's her pen name. But afterwards, if I don't like this, I think I might have to give up on her, because the Wayward Children series, I read 6 books, 6 of them in this series. And out of the 6, there's only the 4th book that I enjoyed. You can actually read it as a standalone if you want to give it a shot. But I feel like everyone knows the premise. Children that go to magical universe think Narnia, and then whenever they come back into our world, they can't cope. And some of these books are about their adventures. Some of them are about them in this world whenever they are in this specific school for them. I don't know. I feel like every book, I feel so differently about it. Book 1 was fine. Book 2 did not care. Book 3, and then book 4 is the one that I like. I just read last year book 6, which I feel like we all have to say great representation. Can appreciate it, but at the same time, I don't connect with her stories, most of them. And to me, they kind of read more middle grade, and it's just not my jam. So again, I'm giving up on the Wayward Children series. It's just not going to happen. I believe there are 2 more books. I thought the 6th one was the last one, but apparently there are 2 more books. So done. They're quick reads though, if you like them, but they're just not for me, and it's okay. I think after 6, I gave the series more than a fair shot. The Verity Monster series by Victoria Schwab, I should say, because it is a YA fantasy book by her. The first book was This Savage Song, and I believe the second one is like Our Dark Duet or something. I've read the first one a year or 2 ago, and it's fine, but like no strong feelings about it. And I've been meaning to read book 2, and I'm realizing it's just not going to happen. And again, it's okay. I've had a complicated relationship with YA books, because I feel like a lot of them are way overhyped for what they are, but some of them I still love. So like I obviously still give a shot to them once in a while, but it's about like 25% of my reading. So do I really want to spend it on this one since I didn't really care for book 1? Probably not. I will continue to read books by her, but not her middle grade series. I tried the first one, which actually, I don't know if I've included it in a past video like this, but her other series, the middle grade one, will not continue either. And then I don't think I will continue either by her. So I'll stick to her adult stuff, which I do like. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Ooh. I think this is one of my controversial ones. It's also something that made it to my, was it worst or most disappointing books of 2020? I thought I was going to love this because I have read the Grisha trilogy and I've read the Six of Crow duology, and I liked them. You know, they were fun, but I wanted to see an adult book by her, and this one is like urban fantasy. It happens in university setting, and there is like magic and like a magical library, so all things that are right up my alley. I was super excited and didn't care whatsoever. I really struggled to read it. I tried the audiobook. It's the only reason I finished it. And let me tell you, the last 2-3 hours, completely pointless. Completely. Like everything is solved. There's a mystery, like murder mystery on this campus. and it's solved, and there's like 2-3 more hours. It was weird. I did not like it. There's a specific scene which I'm forever resentful of having to read that. And yeah, the only person I care about was the side character, which I can't remember his name, but he's the only reason I continued the book, and that I was thinking about continuing the series, like if it focused on him, the second book. But at the end of the day, no, and it's okay. We're learning to move on and focus on the books we love. But yeah, I will not read whatever book 2 will be, but Night House number 2. No, not for me. And it's okay. I will continue to read by this author, but just not this series. It's just not for me. Speaking of which, this is probably one of the ones that also, like, the ratings on Goodreads are super good, but for some reason just didn't work for me. A Memory Called Empire, which I read it part of my Goodreads reading challenge for last year, and it came out in 2019, and it's a sci-fi. And the description sounds so up my alley. You're following this main character who is sent to replace an ambassador on a different planet. And it looks like it was an accident, but was it? Like, she doesn't think it's an accident. It looks like a murder. And there is like a lot of political intrigue. But yeah, it sounds like something I will love. And I just could not connect with the story, the writing, the characters, like nothing. I didn't care. And again, it's another one that I ended up trying to push through with the audiobook to finish it. And it's not gonna happen. Didn't solve anything for me. I just felt very detached from the whole thing. Again, this is definitely this is me, probably, not the book. Yeah, if that sounds something, if it sounds interesting to you, it might be worth it. But for me, I'm just not going to continue. I believe book 2 is supposed to come out this year, actually. So, you know, I don't know if it's a duology or series, but yeah, no, will not continue. The Ice series by Mark Lawrence, not gonna happen. I'm not planning on reading more by the author. I do have a couple of his books on my shelf, which I'll probably just unhaul in my next unhaul video. But mostly, I had really liked the Ancestor trilogy by him. And then last year, I read The Girl in the Stars, which is his newest book in the same world, and I was super excited because a lot of things were left unanswered, and the biggest letdown ever. The book is way too short, nothing happens, did not care about the story, didn't answer any of the past questions, maybe in the future, but like I'm just not going to continue because again, there are so many books and one book that I actually read this month earlier, like it was the first week of January, and I've been thinking about it ever since, and you know what, I don't think I'm going to continue, so I decided to just include it in here. A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuvel, which, I don't know. Him and I, we have, again, our ups and downs. Like, is Temesval series, book 1, it was, like, engaging. It's very short. It was, like, interview style. And I think it hid the fact that I don't really care for his writing. I don't think, like, I'd be curious to hear anyone say that they love his writing, because I don't feel like it's a, oh, that sounds really harsh, but I don't like it. Let's just say that. But his ideas were compensating for it. And in this case, it's super complicated to try and explain. It's kind of a historical fiction with sci-fi. You're following these two women, and there are a long line of women, like 100 of them, who have been trying to affect history to try and accelerate things so we can escape into space before, who knows, we destroy ourselves or something. So you follow them during World War II and a little bit, you know, up to, not really now, but ish. And there are people after them kind of thing. And it's not uninteresting, but the writing is just not great. And the back and forth into timeline was fine because I did enjoy the flashbacks, but I don't know, don't care about the characters. I didn't really like clearly the writing. And I don't know, I'm just admitting to myself it's not going to happen, so Then last but definitely not least, 8 Perfect Murder. I don't remember the name of the series, but Peter Swanson. I didn't think this was a series, but turns out it is. I read this. This is what, like my 4th book by him. I've read another one since. And again, up and down. Some books I gave like 4.5 stars, and then other ones I've DNF'd and hated them, like 2 stars. And this one, I'm kind of just meh about it. I feel like there was a lot of potential, and that's why I got frustrated. The story begins, you're following this man who works in a bookstore, which, you know, cozy vibes, it's winter too, so I did like that. And then one day there is an investigation, I think it's FBI agent that comes to his store and interrogates him about a list that he wrote on a blog about the 8 perfect murders. Turns out there's a murderer that has been doing them one by one, so he's obviously being suspected and then, you know, helpful to the investigation. So great premise, but second half of the book sucked. It sucked. I didn't care for the ending whatsoever. It didn't stick with me whatsoever. I had to like look at my notes and be like, oh yeah, that's what it was. And I can't believe it's a series. I don't care. No, I will not read book 2 in a series. Like, I feel like it's so frustrating because like there were a few twists in the beginning because he does tend to put a couple which were intriguing, and then it just flopped so hard. I would be curious actually to hear what you think of this book by him. But yeah, I'm definitely not continuing. It's just not for me, and it's okay. These are the 8 books that I'm not planning on continuing. I need to probably next, actually, I'm going to try to do a video about books that I don't think I will. And you can vote and let me know if I should or not, because these ones I'm like pretty much guaranteeing never going to read them. But the next ones, I don't know. I feel like some of them, I was making my list and I was like, maybe I can just, you know, be convinced. So let me know if you would like to see that, and I will film that for this weekend. So it's gonna be it for this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next one very soon. Bye.